Hey guys, welcome to Save Continue podcast, where every week we get together and talk about video games and video game related stuff. With me, as always, is Thomas Shelby
Hello.
and Ryan Gravedigger Robinson. I think that's
What?
what you wanted me to
What are
say.
you talking about?
Rise from your Ryan, rise from your grave,
Yeah,
Robinson.
that's me. Yeah, it's your
All right.
boy. Rise from your
Sorry,
grave,
I had to confuse it.
motherfuckers. I'm a werewolf. Ow!
That's pretty good.
uh,
I
I
like
don't know
that.
what that reference is. I just remember that grave was part of the thing.
It's from an old game called Altered Beast. That's pretty awful.
All right, I guess that makes the Altered Feast comment much
Yeah.
funnier
Wait, hold on,
now.
Yeah.
hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. I assume that you laugh reacted it because you got the joke.
Did I
But you
laugh
didn't.
react to it?
Yeah, but you
Is
didn't
that
get
the
the
joke?
joke.
I knew
Oh
that it was
shit.
supposed to be one, and
But
I
you
laughed
didn't get
anyways. I don't want you to feel
it.
fun.
Don't laugh
I don't
react a
want
joke you don't get.
well, you've never laughed at something you didn't
Uh,
get?
I
Uh,
have to be polite.
sure, but like in
Yeah.
person. But
Yeah.
you know what I mean? But it's fine.
Is that
I
your fake
appreciate.
laugh, Tom?
Yeah.
Usually, when I tell a joke that Tom doesn't care for, he'll furrow his brow like this, and he'll be like, "All right."
That's true. I
Well,
do
Tom
do
doesn't try
that.
to be polite to you. I,
We're past
I,
that.
Yeah, he didn't care about that.
yeah, I haven't hit the 31-year mark, so I still have to be polite and laugh at your jokes that I don't get.
Yeah, 32 flavors.
Sure.
Baskin Robbins?
Yep.
I don't know how many flavors it is.
Yeah,
I think it's 32.
Yeah.
it's fine.
Anyways, hey guys, what games have y'all been playing this week?
I restarted the Phantom Pain, and
Cool.
I guess we'll talk about that more in this episode. But I've also been playing Fall Guys, and
Birdo's been playing that and trying to get me into it, and
yeah,
You should do
you
it.
I
know,
want to get it.
I mean, it's kind of fun, right? Because like, I like Mario Party, but there's not always a party around for Mario Party,
Sure.
and this
And
solves that problem.
Playing Mario Party with the computer is just sad.
Right, and this solves that problem.
Yeah.
You're way
I'm,
less sad playing Fall
I'm
Guys
having
than
fun
Mario
with
Party.
it. I have not come close to winning yet,
No.
but it's fun.
Yeah, Birdo has a group of people that he plays it with, and
Yeah.
I just need to get a Windows 10 key, and I'm set. My computer's done.
I mean, you can just play it on PlayStation 4 for free.
Yeah.
Oh, it's on there? Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll probably do that
It
then.
launched as a PS
Can you
Plus game.
crossplay?
Do you have that?
I don't think you can
I
cross-play.
do.
Yeah. It's one of the PS Plus games this month. So.
But I've been having fun with
Uh,
it. I like it. I got this little slushy costume that's kind of cute,
Right on.
and I can't win, but it's it's still a lot of fun. Except I don't like
uh,
the matching game with the fruit
I haven't done that one.
because I get that one all the time, all the time. I
Yeah.
like
I've
the one
seen
where you
Birdo
have to
do
yank the
the
tails
soccer
off, though.
one.
Have you seen the
Oh,
one
I've
where you yank
seen
off
that
the
one.
tail? I like that one.
Yeah. Um, I think that he is one before, at least somebody in his group is one before, because of
Well,
the cheering.
it's not a team game, so
Well, like, but they play like together, like at the
no,
same
it's
time.
not. That's not how it works.
Okay.
You know what Fall Guys is?
Yes.
All right.
You know where Harvey
Yeah. Do
is?
you know what friends are? Have you ever played with them online in any game? But yeah, no,
It's
him and
called
his
Fall
friends
Guys,
play.
not Fall Friends.
But
So
yeah, but I've seen him get into the top five, and then I had to go do something.
That's
yeah,
pretty
well, it's
cool.
all about numero uno.
Yeah. Getting that
Yeah.
chicken
Well, have you
dinner.
gotten to top five?
No, never.
Not
Okay
it.
then.
Not ever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Don't
but
shit on
yeah,
it.
I've been liking that, and yeah, basically just Phantom Pain and that, and a little bit of Near. I've got 2 more trophies to clear up in Near.
Hell yeah, man.
And then get that platinum.
Yeah.
Big old plat.
What about you, Ryan?
Okay, so I played a lot of Infamous Second Son last week, and I got the platinum in that sumbitch.
Ooh, second platinum
Uh, you
this
know,
year.
actually, it's my third this year.
Oh fuck.
Yeah. Uh,
It's his second son this year, though.
sure. Congratulations.
Yeah.
uh,
You're a father again. No one
holy
gives a
shit.
shit.
So this would be my second and a half go around with that game, and Tom asked me what I thought about it, and I told him I still think Delson sucks a whole lot, uh, but overall the game is fun. Augustine is a badass villain. I like her a lot.
Yeah. It's the best written character in that game.
Yeah, I'm told this hurts. But yeah, the game is pretty good, and I enjoyed going through it, and I would do it again. I would do it again if I hadn't already completed a good guy playthrough. I had to play it through as evil to get that trophy.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's
Did you have fun? Did you enjoy being evil?
No, you know what? I was actually telling Kaylee that I really don't like being the bad guy in games like that. One of the cool
Well,
things.
that's what I was asking because I know that you normally don't, but I didn't know if like your
Yeah.
walk on the dark side
No,
changed
it just
anything.
okay. So Delson as a good guy sucks. Delson as a bad guy sucks even more, and so it just really wasn't that fun for me playing it that way. But overall, it didn't take as long as I thought it would.
Very
And
brief.
yeah, I did get a little frustrated near the end because
Hmm.
Augustine is the son of a bitch on expert, but overall, good time. First Light, I think, is a cooler game though. But
But you don't have video power.
sure, oh, that's true. The whole time I was playing, every minute post getting video power, I heard the song in my head.
Me too, dude.
and but yeah, overall, not a bad game. Then so I mentioned last week we've been doing this thing where we decide on like after we get the platinum in a game, we decide what are we gonna platinum next, and so now it's No Man's Sky, uh, which is
Doesn't that be weird to platinum?
yeah, well, it's just like a lot of the platinums are all really straightforward, and there's nothing confusing about it. You don't have to do any like crazy things. It's just all of them are really like they all are contingent on getting to a certain point with different progressions, like learning this many words in one alien language and traveling this distance, and
That's time consuming stuff.
yeah, so nothing is like really difficult so far, but
That's like Diablo, you know? Like Diablo was an easy platinum, just very time consuming.
yeah, um, and that's it's mainly been I've been playing some Street Fighter, and being pretty cool at that. A few people caught these hands, as it were.
Can we talk about Street Fighter real quick?
I'm still
Since you
bronze
brought it up.
though, so that's yeah, absolutely. So
So, like, the news of the new characters, like the new character announcements,
yeah,
that makes me pretty excited.
hmm
And, like, Akira being in the game, even though she's my favorite Rival Schools character, she's probably not the one I would pick for Street Fighter 5,
sure,
Hmm.
but I'm still
Why not?
super excited about it. Just because her playstyle, like, Rival Schools combat is so different from Street Fighter combat. And there's so, like, that game is built off of air combos, and there aren't really air combos in Street Fighter 5, you
Yeah.
know? I just think that there's characters with moves that would lend themselves better to Street Fighter, like Edge, I think would have been really cool. But I still think it's super cool that they're putting her in and acknowledging Rival Schools.
yeah. And they got Oro and Rose. I did not expect Rose, but
I kind of did just because of how many pros were into her with the last game,
yeah,
you know?
yeah. I held out like I had this weird hope for Crimson Viper. I knew it wasn't gonna happen.
A lot of people
But
predicted that, but yeah.
yeah. So I mean, more stuff for Street Fighter Five. More stuff than we thought there would be like a year ago. But
Yeah.
So that's good. That's good stuff. And also Yoshinori Ono left the company after 27 years. So I know that there's some shit going on with him at that company. So he got out while the getting was good. And
Really, because
good old
uh,
Yoshinoro.
his letter made it seem like he was leaving on good terms.
uh, no, it seemed like a lot of shit.
PR.
Some shit was going down with him at the company, like right before he left.
Interesting.
Um, Also, Darkest Dungeon, a whole lot. I actually been I found the Vita, and I've been playing
Did
on.
you?
I played on the Vita. I've been doing cross save. So
Have you?
when I'm working, I'm playing some Darkest Dungeon on the Vita, and then when I'm done, I play it on the PlayStation. I upload the save. Um, Game is real hard. So
Have you made any Suicide Squads? Like I suggested.
I mean, I just feel like they're all Suicide Squads. Like all those guys are doomed. But
Ryan,
it's
let me let you in on something.
huh?
When you're working
Yeah,
and playing on the Vita,
yeah.
you could remote play some Street Fighter V to that son of a bitch.
Yeah, so I tried to. That's funny you should say that because I tried to remote play with the Vita, and like it was connected to Kaylee's PlayStation. So I immediately like booted her out of the game. I was like, "This isn't my dashboard," and I started.
That's funny, man. Yeah, I played a good amount of Fallout 4 that way, and it was actually pretty enjoyable.
Yeah, and I played Fall Guys like Tom, and that game is really funny. It is very cute.
We should all play it together.
Yeah, what I like about it is
I'm down.
it's really easy to just get into a game, and they don't last that long. I've qualified in one race, and never again.
Really?
Yeah, never again.
Wow.
I've,
I almost always beat the first 2 rounds,
yeah, I
but
couldn't do
after
it.
that, I fall apart.
Yeah,
But like you saying it's easy to get into a game, man. I've had like so many instances of like disconnects and just
Really?
like not being able to join, and like their Twitter has been going off like this whole time. They're just like, hey, we didn't expect this many people to be into it, you know.
yeah,
So
The
they've been
Garage
trying to
League
work on
thing.
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good problem to have, but
Oh, for sure.
uh,
I mean, they were outselling GTA 5 on Steam for quite a while, so
yeah.
that's pretty impressive.
The other game I've been playing, I'll save for later because it fits into our conversation. But and also Katana Zero. I told Tom that Katana Zero is the coolest game that I've played this year, and I stand by that shit. That game is fucking rad.
It's really cool.
Yeah, I love that game. Like Tom let me play that game on his account, and I loved it so much that I bought my own copy. Um, it's just got really cool style. It's really fun to play.
It's all like like I don't want to say neons, but I don't know like
A lot of
another
neon in
way.
that game.
Yeah, there is.
But
There's
like,
a lot of neon in
but
there.
there's also like the dark colors, right? Because I remember seeing it, and it's like navy blue,
Yeah.
light blue, and like
There's a
neon
lot of blues
purple.
and purples in that game.
Yeah, for sure.
It's definitely a cold color game.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I like about it is like it's a stylistic thing, not mechanical at all. But I like because he's listening to like a Walkman or something, and like before every level he like pushes play on the Walkman. And I think that's just such a cool thing because like he pushes play on the Walkman and then the music of the level starts. I think that's really neat. But yeah, the game.
Yeah,
is,
it's a nice little.
Yeah.
It's a small thing. It's
the
a
game
good
is
small
the
thing.
game is very very cool, and I think it like Tom told me that he felt like I would be into it, and I definitely am.
For fans of Hotline Miami.
If you
right?
like Hotline Miami and you are way up your own ass about how much synthwave you listen to, like I am, then you should definitely play Katana Zero.
Yeah.
Out now for computers and Nintendo Switches. So that's it. That's all. That is all I've been playing. That's it.
Um. So I beat the eighth gym leader, and now I'm on to the like the main challenge
Yeah.
thing. I beat the semifinals, like 'cause it doesn't seem like it's an Elite Four. It just means like it seems like there's one champion that I have to like get to.
Yeah.
So I am almost to that. It's Pokemon Sword. My next paycheck, I'm gonna get the DLC, and then I haven't really had a whole lot of time for video games. There's been a lot of family stuff going on. So I did bring my Switch with me, but I ended up not. Whenever I went out of town, but I ended up just like not using it. And I think.
Well, you don't want to be playing Switch at a funeral.
Sure.
So.
No, I mean, I meant for like to use it after the funeral, but I definitely didn't use it during the funeral.
Sure.
So yeah, I've been watching Bird of Play Fall Guys. Almost, like I said, almost on my computer. Just needs a Windows 10's key, and then which I'm also going to buy the next paycheck, unless I can find like it pretty cheap, and then maybe dip into my savings.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's really about it as far as video games for me. It's been kind of a busy week. A bit of a, I wasn't going to say it, but yeah, with the funeral and everything, bit of a bummer, get the stuff going on.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then, but I am very excited to get like finish the championship stuff with Pokemon and see what like in-game Pokemon stuff exists now. I do have some, I didn't mention it before, but I do have a small segment at the end of our topic.
Okay.
Uh-oh. Is it about Pokemon?
A little bit.
Okay.
The segment itself isn't going to be about Pokemon, but what I'm going to say in the segment has something to do with Pokemon. You'll find out.
Stay tuned for that.
Yes. Please.
And then, speaking of topic, so this week, Ryan, you wanted to talk about our favorite open world action adventure games.
Yeah.
And my question to you in this, and I should have asked this before.
Yeah.
So, like, what stipulations are there? Is just anything that says that can be said as open world action adventure? Like, I'm trying to think of like what we consider like Western RPGs, like Skyrim. Would that fall on the list, or are you looking more like
so.
platformer?
I mean, that's a pretty open world, man. Look, the closest thing to open world that you've got, go for it.
Crazy Taxi.
Yeah. Hey, man. It doesn't tell you where to go.
Time.
You could go anywhere you want. There's no rails on the motherfucker. So
that's true.
Crazy Taxi is technically an open world game. You just can never leave the car.
You see that
car.
You can drive there.
Yeah, you see that KFC? You can drive there. You see that Fila
store? But to be fair, like when you play a game as a person, you can't like get the skeleton to come out of the body and still play. Like they're still in a vehicle. You're just in a meat vehicle.
Let me tell you something. I've played a lot of Mortal Kombat in my life, and there are many times when I got that skeleton come out of that body. It came right up out of that body, and I kept playing.
Oh shit!
So
that is true though.
It is, but it's not an open world game.
Yeah.
Unless you're in the crypt. Thank you. Go ahead, Shanae.
But yeah, so I'm assuming like I didn't know if you were thinking more of stuff in the line of like a Hat in Time, or if RPGs were also in it.
Yeah, I mean,
Hat in Time's not open world at all.
It's just got big levels.
That's
just got.
That's
big
more
levels.
like Mario.
I thought you can choose and like go back to other levels and do whatever. Like you have to unlock certain areas, but like can't you go back and do whatever you want?
Open world implies that everything's connected as one.
Yeah.
One world.
Like one big map. Whereas Hat in Time is a bunch of different maps tied together by a hub. So that's a little bit different. Yeah. But
okay.
But think more. I mean, Skyrim. Skyrim is definitely one of those.
Yeah.
You know, name a Grand Theft Auto. They're all one of those. So.
I mean, I guess we could like do like the Don't Starve ads in there too, since that's like open world and go anywhere in it. It's not super large.
I mean, sure. I mean, Minecraft is open world, right? The original Legend of Zelda is open world.
Yeah.
But
go for it, man. Hey, look, like I said, the closest thing you have to open world, go for it. I'm not gonna jump down your throat about it. Just make sure.
Sonic.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Well. So.
What?
So we're just talking about our favorites, or what?
Yeah. So I'm gonna preface this a little bit. So
I was like, why don't you start?
so I recognize, number one, I have a tendency to ramble a little bit. So I want to let you know.
No,
I
no.
want to let you know that I wasn't able to pick just one. I don't know if
Oh,
you.
dude, I've got like a list.
Okay, good, good. I didn't want to feel like an
I
asshole.
I have a
Okay,
I had a tentative list.
okay. I didn't want to feel like an asshole because I didn't want you because I should have clarified and I didn't want to. I meant to like say this earlier, but I don't know. You know me.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, okay, cool. Um, I don't really like starting though, so I would like
Well,
Tom to
you
go first.
I'm I am telling you,
That's
you
fine.
start.
Oh, well, I mean, Shanae is the commander of the show, so.
Fuck, that was the worst decision I ever made, man. All right,
All right, fine then. Tom can do it. It's your topic, but let
all
Tom lead the
right, all
way.
right.
All right. I mean, you know what's funny is like when I think of open world games, a lot
Yeah,
of times I'm like, I don't like open world games, you
sure.
know? But then I start thinking about it and like, I'm an idiot. Most of the games I like are open world games, you know?
Yeah,
So let's start with Shadow of the Colossus, of course. Uh, I think a lot of people don't like its open world, you know, because there's not a lot there. It's pretty empty, you know.
yeah. But
Uh,
that's so much. That's such a big part of it, though.
yeah, exactly. It's such a big part of it, traveling from one to the next, and like the architecture. I think like when you can do storytelling through the world,
Yeah,
I think that's pretty cool. And another game on my list does that pretty well. But like there's so much lore in the environment, and I think that's really neat. You know, the architecture ties it to the other games in the universe, uh, and I think that's just really cool. It's all beautiful,
yeah,
and like yeah, there's really nothing to do. You can ride around and like I don't know, kill some lizards and
yeah,
get some fruits. You
yeah.
know, but like it's just so pretty and it really does add to the lore. It just visually adds to the lore, and
Right.
I think that's pretty cool. You know, you see a pool and you're like, that thing is shaped the exact same as the pool in The Last Guardian. What the fuck, you
Yeah.
know? Like random shit like that. I like that a lot. So that's my first one.
Cool. It's a good
Yeah.
one. Uh.
Also, that bridge is awesome.
Oh yeah, that one early on.
The one you cross to get into the game, if you
Yeah.
climb back up it, you can cross all the way back.
Yeah.
And like, even at full speed, it's going to take you like 20, 30 minutes to cross that son of a bitch.
Yeah. That game is gorgeous though. And even
Yeah.
like back in 2005, because the one version I actually bought was the original one, and even
Yeah.
back in 2005 on the PS2, that game just kind of blew me away with like its scale and just the way that it looked. Like something about like they were really good. Like a lot of PS2 games did this really good thing where like they were able to like do these like really like soft textures that like looked really good on the hardware, and and I,
Well, I think PS2 games in general just kind of look fuzzy, you
yeah.
know? And I think like that lends itself better to some games than others.
Yeah, and I feel like it did that. Like I feel like it lent itself really well to Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah. Because
Um,
like the lighting in that game's so blown out already, you
yeah,
know?
but yeah, and also like there's something, and I don't really know the story of that game, right? But like, uh, there was some to me there was always something tragic about every Colossus that you killed.
Yeah.
There's always something
Well,
like
spoilers, you find out like you're the bad guy, you
oh
know?
okay.
But yeah.
Oh
It's
no, I'm the bad guy.
yeah.
It's like the
Oh,
end of the Smack My
fuck.
Bitch Up video.
It's exactly like that.
I wonder if anyone will go watch that video to get that. Okay, awesome. Uh, so, so I think the first one I want to talk about is Yakuza Zero, and
I played a little bit of that.
yeah. So one of the things that immediately enamored me to Yakuza because like I played a total of 10 minutes of the original Yakuza on PS2, which like a little bit before Yakuza 0 came out, and I decided I would just wait for 0 to come out and play that. One of the things that immediately enamored me to uh, Yakuza 0 was just like the combat was just so, it felt so like weirdly old school arcadey with like the weapon pickups and like, and that
It's
game,
beat 'em up inspired.
yeah, and like in that game, like literally like piles of yen like fly out of every guy you beat up after you beat them up, and it's just so, it's so satisfying. And like it, the way that Yakuza seems to be able to kind of like toe the line between like campy and silly and like really serious is like really
Yeah.
really interesting to me, because like Yakuza at its core is about, you know, like loyalty and friendship and like redemption and stuff like that, but like intermingled with that stuff is like
Yeah, it's
the
also anime as hell.
yeah, it's also like super anime, and like Kiryu has
Yeah.
like all these crazy
Anime as hell.
he has all these like crazy misadventures that are like just ridiculous, right? And but like they all feel like they like everything that he does, regardless of how like seemingly ridiculous it is, like in a vacuum it seems ridiculous, but like you tie it all together and it just seems part of like, you could imagine like it, like his daily life is really like that. It's just like that, like ridiculous, right? But it like that kind of stuff, you know, more, it more endears you to him because like on his surface he's just like this, he's this angry like Yakuza enforcer who's like really good at beating the shit out of people, and it could have been really easy to like kind of just let him be that, but they also add all this like context to him, and like they go deeper into his relationships, and you know him like dealing with like being betrayed by people he really trusted, um and also like one of the things I really love is they have these set piece moments where like Kiryu and like some other person who is significant to him in some way, like might like maybe like another Yakuza member that like has like turned on him, like they always have these, they have these crazy like these showdowns where like they both like rip off their shirts and have their like crazy Yakuza back pieces showing off, and it just like
Yeah.
looks so badass. And
Those are some long fights too.
yeah, and but like it's just cool, like the whole feeling of it is like really neat, and I just like the way like the story flows, and like I've said this before, I think Yakuza is Shinmu if Shinmu was really fun, and uh and I love being in that world, and it's crazy because I've played two games and they both take place in the same city, and a lot of the same characters, but it still just feels like really fresh and cool. And
Well, and I've heard a lot of people who've played the entire series say that Zero is the best one.
you know what's funny is that I wish that like after playing Yakuza 1,
Yeah.
I wish that I played Yakuza 1 and then 0, because there are like, for example, there's a in Yakuza 0, one of the playable characters is a guy named Goro Majima, and when they introduce him in the game, like it's very much like framed like if you played the first one, you know who this guy is. But like
Yeah.
I never played it, so I was like, I don't know who this guy is, but he seems really cool. And then,
I
and then then you play Yakuza 1, you realize that he's like this, he's a lunatic. But it's still like I still wish I played Yakuza 1 before 0, but either way, they both still feel really really cool. So Yakuza 0, there you go.
um so I feel like quite often in the show I shit on the series, but I put my first one down as Mass Effect, the
Okay.
first one. It was probably the first like Western game that I played like a Japanese RPG, like where I wanted to like go and look up and find like everything about it. I wanted to make sure that like I was doing the best course, like everyone survived, and like redoing stuff until I get this like thing that I wanted.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like I made a lot of friendships from it. Of course, it was a pretty popular game, so like I had a lot of people talk about it. It's probably one of the first games I can think about where people actually talked about the voice actor, and like a lot of people agreeing that like FemShep was better like voice actress than the voice actor, and like I don't know, it was like my first like I can think of that's like a Western game that like made me feel that way.
Yeah.
'Cause
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
like I mean, I think part of the reason I don't talk about the series more often is that I was very disappointed by the ending when spending so long like I've mentioned before, like trying to do everything perfect and
Yeah.
everyone survives and everything's great. And then to find out that until like an update, there really wasn't a difference in the endings. Just kind
Yeah.
of felt like I did all this shit for no reason. That like my ending wasn't going to be the happiest ending, and I
Yeah.
liked that. I liked the fact that like I could make like help people survive and do all this stuff. I liked it, and it I don't know, it sullied it.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I think that I just need to get over being a bitter Betty because the fact is it still gave me hundreds of hours of entertainment.
sure. And
Sure.
I think that honestly, there's of course there's merit in that, right? Because I think that one of the draws of games like Mass Effect is feeling like, what you're doing matters. And if you find out that no matter what you do over the course of, 3 games, like it ends up the same anyway, then it
Yeah,
just
there's no point in like saving and doing
yeah.
all this stuff and
Especially
making sure each one was great.
yeah, especially when they go through the trouble of making it so that you can tie all your save files together,
Yes. Then just
that's
don't put that feature in.
yeah. Um,
Like, don't make me feel like I'm accomplishing something and then just yoink.
yeah. But
But
those games are
I'm
still
getting
cool as
over it.
hell
I think
though.
I might actually rebuy the series and play through it again because it's been so long,
You
and
should
I
do
think
that.
I'm gonna go in there with the thought process of having a good time, and I don't give a fuck who dies.
Cool. I like this shit, eh?
All
uh,
right, Tom, what you got next?
Next, I have Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain.
cool.
Uh,
Um,
the game gets like a lot of people hate that game, man. Like a lot of people hate that game, and I get it. Like it doesn't play like Metal Gear 1 through 4. It's a lot different than 1 through 4. Um, and a lot of people feel that it is incomplete, that there is missing content from that game. Even though Hideo Kojima, after leaving Konami, has said that it's a complete game and it's how he wanted the series to end. I really love that game, man. A lot of people, if you like Google the Walkman trilogy, a lot of people look at Peace Walker, Ground Zeroes, and The Phantom Pain as its own trilogy. And I think that's like it's said in the titles, right? Like the first few games was like, what is it, Ryan? Metal Gear Solid Tactical Espionage Action or something like
Yeah.
that, right?
Yeah.
And like that's the subtitles of all those games except for Peace Walker, Ground Zeroes, and The Phantom Pain, which share a different one. And he's the kind of fucker that would do some subtle shit like that.
Yeah.
I really love that stuff. I love the fact that it's based on Moby Dick. I love the fact that it feels like when I get into a giant open world game, if I play like a GTA or an Assassin's Creed or whatever, I always feel like I'm never gonna do all of this.
Yeah.
This is too much stuff to do. And like the Phantom Pain probably has an equal amount of stuff to do. Last time I played it for 100 hours and didn't finish the game.
Yeah.
But like it feels so manageable because the way that it's broken up, because the way the mission structure is.
Sure.
You're leaving Mother Base to do this one thing, and like while that might spiral into, hey, I'm gonna go collect those resources over there, or do this side op while I'm on the way, or whatever. It just feels much more manageable. And yeah, I just think the story is really cool.
Yeah.
Him telling you to, call me Ishmael, him referring to you as Ahab, the helicopter being referred to as Pequod, the fact that you've lost a limb and are gathering men for revenge. Like, it is very much Moby Dick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I always
What do you got next?
well, real quick, I think that I agree with Tom. Uh, Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain is a great game, and also real quick, Ground Zeroes, also great.
Yep.
Even though people said it was too short, there's so much shit to do in that game. There's more than 2 hours of shit to do that game. So
People just played through the main story of it,
yeah, Ground
Yeah.
Zeroes is great. So.
Yeah.
So my next one is Red Dead Redemption 2. Uh,
I assume that
Stay
was going to
with
be
me,
mentioned at some
Ryan.
point.
Stay with me, Ryan. That would have been so cool if Arthur's name was Ryan.
Arthur.
Arthur. So I think that game was I feel like it was very polarizing, and that there were some people who were really into the very deliberate, slow pace and like slow build of that game, and people who were immediately turned off by it. Um, I'm the kind of guy
Or
who really likes shit like that, who really likes like crazy like immersive systems driven open world games. That's like really cool stuff to me. Um, and like I've also like I really love westerns like a lot, and I feel like Red Dead Redemption 2 is probably one of the best westerns I've ever seen. And like that story is just so it's so easy to like Arthur, uh, because he's just like he's a loyal dude, and he cares about the people in his gang, and he wants to do the right thing, like, and he's always
unless you're me.
yeah, but like he's like throughout the course of the game, like he finds himself at odds with his loyalty to Dutch and his, sense of right and wrong, and at a certain point, those two things like directly conflict, and watching him go through that conflict is, it's in a lot of ways it's very heartbreaking, and but on top of that, like just I found like the world to be thoroughly engrossing. Like you could just get lost for hours in it, and like you go camping or go hunting or do like a number of different things, and it just feels like it felt like it didn't none of it felt like a gimmick. Like the hunting doesn't feel like a side activity, like it doesn't feel like a mini game. It feels like
Much different than the hunting in the first one.
yeah yeah and like it feels like you hunt, and then you like take the stuff back to your camp, and like it's like it just feels really immersive. And like granted, like yeah, like with that kind of immersion, like there's a certain pace that comes with,
There's some lulls.
yeah, well, yeah, there are long stretches where like nothing happens, but like that was part of it for me. That was a part of the experience for me. Those moments where you're in this intense shootout, and like there's just bullets flying everywhere, and then just silence, and you're just riding your horse through the countryside, and like or you sit by the lake and go fishing, and it's just that like that trade-off in that game was very compelling to me. And I really like that game. And like even like what I read is that even if you mainlined it and like nothing but story quests, it would take you 60 hours, which is like crazy to me, because it's a long fucking
It's $1 an hour.
it's a long game. Yeah. It's a long game, but like it's funny because like even I think like even after that 60 hours, you still have an epilogue that you can play through, and but
That's less than $1 an hour then.
but even with that, it's just that was one of those games where like it's often that like I feel like one of the things I hate in games is like the games that have like that percentage counter that tell me how much of the game I've done. Like if I'm really really enjoying the game, because I don't like knowing how close to it being over I am, and so
Yeah.
like it that kind of
it you can decipher how much longer the
Yeah.
storyline's going to be going on based
Yeah.
off what that percentage is. And it
Um,
ruins some of the surprise for you.
okay, so one of the things that makes this game one of my favorites, and I have to give a spoiler because this is really important. So spoiler warning to anybody who's listening to it. Give yourself a couple minutes. Uh,
I mean, I only played 4 hours. Should I take my headset out?
I don't. Do you care? Because are you gonna
I don't
actually?
give a
Oh, I
fuck.
didn't think so.
No.
Okay,
Even
so
if I do actually go back and try it again, I will not care, nor will I probably remember what
yeah,
you said.
and you're not gonna finish it anyway. So
No.
one of the systems in the game is you can increase the bond with your horse, and to the point that at one point you can max it out, and so and this there's a cutscene.
Does he cut leeks in your kitchen for you?
I was gonna say, would you say it's a prince? Would you say it has the face of a handsome boy?
My horse was a lady, so
Sure.
please.
Was it a princess?
I'd say she was more of a queen. She carried herself with dignity and class. Anyway, so there's a cutscene that you can only get if you maximize your bond with your horse, and it's near the end of the game. Arthur is, he's the law is coming down on the gang really hard. It's like to the point where like there's basically no escape, and as you're escaping on your horse, some kind of explosion or something like goes off next to the horse, and the horse falls over, is mortally wounded, and even in the middle of trying to escape, like Arthur goes back to the horse, and he just whispers, "Thank you" to the horse, just like fucking destroyed me, like it just totally fucking killed me, and it's like it was little things like
That's
that.
so funny.
It's like little
It's
things
'cause
like it's little things like that
if there's one character more loyal than Arthur, it's definitely his horse.
yeah.
Did you get to the horse part in Shadow of the Colossus, Ryan?
No.
Oh man,
So
I bet you.
they
I bet
take
you
the
would
horse in
cry
there,
like a
too.
baby.
So Tom knows about how I cannot play The Walking Dead season 1 because
Yeah.
it hits too hard.
Yeah, no,
Uh,
I'm also aware of this. You don't make it a secret.
but so stuff like that, and I just thought that like it's those things like where people like put like little things like that in the game because they didn't have to do that. That didn't have to be
Yeah.
a thing that happened, and it could have been a thing that. And one of the reasons it hit so hard for me is because I had maximized my bond with the horse. That was the horse. That was the one horse I used throughout the entire game. And then I find that like that only happens if you maximize your bond with the horse, and like it was a big deal. So it's like things like that, and the story of Arthur and his relationship with people, and how those things can fall apart makes one of those. It's one of the best open world games I've ever played, hands down.
Yeah. So the next game I have on my list is Arkham City.
Great game,
Hell yes.
great, fantastic game.
I never finished
so
it.
You should
I,
you
I,
should finish it.
I did finish it.
Batman dies at
I
the
didn't
end.
platinum it.
Sure.
But I mean, I've talked shit about the collectibles for that series, but like as far as like the games go, I did enjoy the first one, like Arkham Asylum, but with Arkham City came out. No, it is not the most it is not super innovative, but like it was such a different change
Yeah.
for the series,
Yeah.
and it was super exciting for me. I liked all the different ways that the villains came into play, like with I'm trying to remember
Joker,
who I'm trying to remember who was the
the
payphone.
Joker,
The
fe-
Riddler.
the female.
No, like the person that kept calling you on the payphone.
Oh,
and,
Mr.
like,
Zaz.
Yeah, well, I was like, I
Yeah.
couldn't remember if it was Zaz or not, and I didn't want to say that and
Zazamataz.
sound stupid, but obviously much more than the first game. You got to know the villains more. There was different ways for you to find out their backstory if you are just a casual Batman fan, where all you really do know is like Mr. Freeze and Joker and Penguin from the movies.
Yeah.
Um,
Chill.
yeah, it like, and I don't know. I just like I enjoyed going around through Gotham. Some of the Riddler trophies I did not get because fuck that shit. Some of that was super
Holy
annoying.
shit, those fucking trophies, man.
But I don't know. Like I felt like Batman, like just as much just as much, if not more than the first one. I more than any other Batman game or probably Batman media that I've consumed, like the comics and stuff. It felt so Batman.
Yeah.
And I don't know how else to describe it.
I
Can I
think
But I
give
like,
you can I give you my one issue with that game?
yeah, go ahead.
My one issue with Arkham Asylum is that they wrote this story where there's like this part of town that is a prison,
Arkham City.
or Arkham City,
Yeah.
right? They wrote this whole story where there's this part of town that is a prison,
Escape from New York.
just just so they could have an excuse to not have pedestrians walking around. And like, how many open world games did we have, even at that point, that had pedestrians walking around?
Yeah.
You know, I would have
Well,
rather
it's Batman.
just
You got to
been
make
Gotham,
sure that there's no accidental death.
Yeah, well, Spider-Man did it.
Yeah. And
I mean,
Spider-Man
Spider-Man,
don't
they
kill
also
nobody.
try to like painfully point out that he's not actually killing them,
Yeah,
even though he obviously is.
I mean, Batman does it too.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
You
thought.
crack someone's neck like that, they're not getting back up.
No.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
No.
It's cool that like Arkham's Asylum, like from Arkham Asylum being a Metroidvania to Arkham City being like this blown out like
Yeah,
open world game is really cool. And
for sure.
and I think that
I mean, would you say that Arkham Asylum is a Metroidvania?
Absolutely.
yeah, definitely.
Okay.
It's
I
interconnected
never really-
worlds with places you can't access until you accomplish certain things. You know,
yeah,
like by definition, it is.
yeah. He's like, oh,
Okay.
this gadget that I forgot to bring. I have
Right.
that gadget now. I can go through
Yep.
this door now.
Oh,
Yeah.
I found this toaster. Let me make this gadget.
Sure. uh,
But yeah, I don't know. It's one of my favorites. What you got next, Tom?
Gravity Rush 2.
Mhm.
So, like, Gravity Rush as a series is just like criminally underrated, man. Like, it's Sony exclusive that just not enough people played. And like, I get it. You look at it and it's like, that's some weird looking shit, you know? Like, it looks like a game out of time. It really does. But like,
Also, the title's so close to Gravity Falls, they might be good if without seeing all the content.
I'm pretty sure Gravity
Mainly
Rush
me.
2 came out before Gravity Falls. But
I never heard of or played the games.
Yeah.
And I finally just now looked up Gravity Rush and what it looked like. Because
yeah,
every time you say Gravity Rush, all I can think about is Gravity Falls.
sure. It's a very bright, vibrant, colorful game.
Yeah.
What I like
The
about it though
characters
is
definitely
like,
look like they're a different art style in the background.
for the first
For
one,
the
I could see
pictures.
that. For the first game, I could see that. For the second, I don't know. But I don't know. Like, it's just so original. There's nothing like there is no other game like that game. You know, and like the way that you fall around the environment means that the level designers who made this fucking world have to account for not just one horizontal plane being fun, but it needs to be fun when you're on this side of everything and when you're on that side of everything and when everything's upside down. Being on any side of those surfaces has to be fun. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And
Yeah.
like they nailed that, and that's fucking awesome to me. Also, like I was talking about with Shadow of the Colossus, is that like the environment, it's inspired by and is part of the world and story that takes place there. So like in Gravity Rush 2, I almost said Gravity Falls 2. In Gravity Rush 2, like there's like this, you know, economic hierarchy. So we're all the rich people are living up high, and the lower and lower you get, it becomes more ghetto, and there's slums towards the bottom, you know. And
Yeah.
like, it's just cool. Like the environment tells a story, and the fact that it has to be fun to play, regardless of what direction you approach it from. Like that's got to be a lot of work. It's like the castle in Symphony of the Night,
I was just thinking about that.
but in 3D from every fucking angle,
Yeah.
you know. And like that's
Everything's
insane.
a space battle.
Yeah. So yeah, Gravity Rush 2. Play it.
What about you, Ryan? Your next one?
Yeah. So, um, I would be remiss if I did not mention No Man's Sky. Uh,
Yeah.
that game has uh, that game has a it kind of has had a hold on me since it came out, and with the way that they have constantly improved upon it since its release, has always found me like going back to it like over and over again. And just my favorite thing about that game specifically is the sense of discovery that I have when I find a planet and I start walking around on it and I start looking around for like caves and like different secrets on the planet and like excavating like fossils and shit. It's just like it's a really cool experience 100% of the time. Um, and I love it. It's a fun loop for me. And I get that like there are a lot of there I get that there are a lot of people who you know couldn't find footing with it, especially early on when it was admittedly very short on content. But now with everything that they've added so far, that game is just it is just really really cool. And one of the things that they added recently was the presence of abandoned like freighters in space, and like you can land on them and like you can explore them and like find out what happened to the crew and like salvage for materials. Like sometimes there's like dangerous alien shit on the freighter that you have to like fight off, and it's just like it's really neat. And and like on top of like all the other stuff that they've done, uh, it's just a really cool game. Like going like having your home planet and like building your base on that planet and like having all this stuff to, like it feels like every time you like go back to that planet you're like, oh man, I'm coming home, I'm gonna chill out in my base for a little bit and like do some stuff, and then I'm gonna get in my spaceship and like see some other stuff. And it's cool, and especially like once you get your own like capital ship and you like have this giant ship orbiting the planet. It's neat, and I'm glad that like they stuck with it, because I think that they understandably drew a lot of criticism 4 years ago when that game came out, and I think it would have been really easy to just call it a wash and not do anything with it. Uh,
I think if they did that though, like they'd have to close Hello Games.
sure, sure, but it would have been a lot easier to not do anything than all the shit that they've been doing for the game and supporting it the way that they have, and like all the additional free content that they've given is it's been
If
really something
only
to
they
see.
had, if only they had marketed it as the true game it was and not of the possibility of it.
Sure,
Sure,
Uh,
but
Cautionary tale.
yeah,
for
don't
sure,
yeah,
absolutely.
lad, like do not do that. Like do not don't go out and misrepresent your game and then charge people full price for it. That's just but I mean
Uh,
at the very least it's that game now. 4 years later, it's
Yeah,
that game now.
right, right,
So
right.
yeah,
so the next game that I have is Assassin's Creed 2.
it's
I'm
good.
sorry.
It's a good game.
Um, I
I'm just
I
playing.
don't I say I don't care that I know how you feel about it. I know how both of you feel about it.
No, I actually like
But
that
for,
game.
but for me, it was probably the peak Assassin's Creed game for me. Like I played a bunch of the other ones. I mean, how could you not? There's 47 of them.
Yeah,
But
there are 47 games.
uh but like Assassin's Creed 2, obviously when they made the pretty massive changes between 1 and 2,
Hmm.
I had a lot of fun. I just remember just like I know it's an assassin, but just yelling ninja as I like just like stealth kill somebody and just being super proud of it. Like I had a lot of fun, like without talking to anybody about the game, just me sitting on my couch making jokes to myself while I play it.
Yeah,
And yeah, I think that there are better games in the franchise, for sure. But it's the one I like the most. It's my
Sure.
favorite. And it's one I had the most fun with before I kind of got over it.
It's funny you say that. Like, I consider the first one to be my favorite, and I guarantee there are better games in that series than the first game, you know? And I guarantee if I went back and played the first one today, I'd probably fucking hate it.
Yeah.
But,
Probably.
like, at the time, I enjoyed it, and I had not enjoyed another one since, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I got.
Man, they loved Ezio for a long ass time. It was like Ezio this,
Oh,
Ezio
yeah.
that. Let's put Ezio in Soul
Oh,
Calibur.
Ezio.
They sure did.
I forgot that. That's
Yeah,
a fighting game character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so next is one that I think is good because all three of us have played it at this point is Breath of the Wild. How can we do open world and not mention Breath of the Wild?
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
It's fan-fucking-tastic. Like,
We
what's
we
not
have
to like?
multiple episodes about
Yeah.
just that game.
The
So
systems at play in that game, it's fucking nuts. Like, it's crazy. It's like Portal levels of just fucking weird voodoo you can do,
Yeah.
but like multiplied, you know, over and over again onto itself. That's my favorite part of it.
Yeah.
Is all the crazy shit you can experiment with that just works, you know?
you can also build up friendship with your horse and tell it thank you before the end of the game.
You could do that. Or you could also ride that weird fucking forest creature from Princess Mononoke, you know? Like,
Or a
there's all
motorcycle.
sorts of weird, yeah,
Or
or a
get-
motorcycle, yeah.
Or get
Or
that
you can
golden
build
pony.
a fucking skyship, you know? Like,
Yeah.
there's so much crazy shit you can do. And yeah, I just love it. I love the art style. I love the gameplay. I like that weapons break. You know,
Yeah.
like there are things from old Zeldas that I miss a lot, but I love this game, man. Love it.
Yeah, run around with 10 clubs in my backpack and just like just going to town.
Yeah. So that's for as far as open world. Like all these other games I've named, a lot of them I like better than I like Breath of the Wild, right? But not because of their open world. I like Zelda's. I like Breath of the Wild's open world better than these games. You know.
Yeah. What about you, Ryan?
Saints Row the motherfucking third, Shanae.
That was on my list too. That's a good one.
That game is so fucking cool, man. That is peak Saints Row.
It's the only one I've enjoyed.
Look.
I mean, it's probably the one they made the most merch for.
Dude.
Yeah, they sold those dildo bats.
Isn't that the one that that had an edition that came with a car? I think it was.
I don't know.
Not a real life car.
But I would not be surprised.
There was one there was like a $100,000 version of the game that came with like a sports car.
Sandusky posted Bill and Ted cartoon cereal in our Discord.
Yeah.
And you could win a phone booth on that bitch.
You think anybody won that phone booth?
Somebody did.
What do you do with a phone booth, man?
I don't know, but it's hilarious. But yeah, the third, man.
The game is
so good.
It's so good. Like it's fun to play. The game is fucking hilarious. And like it's just so over the top and ridiculous, and like it's just constantly so fucking funny. And also like the only and yet best use of Kanye West's banger Power
in the trailer,
in the fucking not just in the trailer, in the game, like when you're like when you airdrop into a fucking penthouse party and just like light everybody up. But that game is just so cool. Like you could just like you hold the sprint button and just like run around the world and like
it's
elbow drop people and then dive through
it's pure
windshields
hype
to take the car and just dude, it's just like
that. Have you played this today? Have you played it?
Season third? Yeah.
Not
so
much.
Not
fun,
much.
Man.
I have watched more than I have played.
So my thing with that series, right? It's like the early games, for sure, they wanted to be GTA.
Yeah. But they kept getting sillier and sillier.
And then and the third game was like perfection of like the wrestling moves and jumping through the windshields and stuff like that. And the fourth game took it too far.
Yeah.
You know? The third was like just the sweet spot. You know,
isn't the fourth game where they like basically are superheroes and villains? And like there's like that.
Like there's no reason to drive in the fourth game.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
But like, the third has like, it has some writing that approaches Gearbox levels of immaturity
Yeah.
that I don't really care for.
Yeah.
But the game is so good and so fun that like it doesn't matter, you
Yeah.
know?
Uh,
Yeah.
one of my favorite scenes in the game, like it's very early on, is when you jump out of the plane and you have Shaundi in your arms, and then he's like, hold on for a second, and he lets her go, and then he like
Yeah.
dives through the second half of the plane, and then kills a bunch of dudes, and then catches her again. I thought that was just so like action movie and over the top. I love that game. I fucking love that game. That game is so cool.
Yeah, it's great.
I need to buy that game. Again. That game is cool, man.
They got that remaster just came out.
Yeah, you do that. That game is cool. Love it.
So I say we do our last round. If you have any, you just pick your last one and then do some honorable mentions. And I mean like honorable mentions.
Okay. Okay, I'm ready.
So for my last one, I have Knights of the Old Republic. Thought about the series a lot. I know that it did come out before Mass Effect, and I played it before that.
Is that an open world game? I've never played that game.
Yes, it is.
Is it? Okay.
It's yeah, it's.
I have them both, but I have never actually sat there and gone through them.
No, they are definitely open world RPGs.
Yeah.
But with those games, I didn't feel the need like I did with a lot of like my Final Fantasy games and other stuff like that to find out everything about it. It was probably my first like Western RPG where I'm just gonna explore and do what I want and hope that it's right. And not be as like bogged down. There are definitely a couple things I looked up to, like with the kyber crystals, and then and a couple other things like that, just like small information, but not like a walkthrough. Like, hey, how do I get this exact result?
Yeah.
And not just like refreshing my memory. And I've already talked about. I love those two games in the series before the MMO. I don't know. I just love them. I think they're really well done. I felt like you're in a Star Wars as universe. They touch on so many things that are just mentioned in the books and not the movies, obviously, because timing. And I don't know. It just I think it's before I even started reading a lot of the Star Wars books. So I think it was probably my first step into the extended universe.
Yeah.
Sure.
I think
probably for a lot of people,
probably
right?
Before. It cut everything.
It's cool because they're good without. I don't know shit about Star Wars, but those games are fucking fun. So
yeah,
and it's good when the game can do that.
Yeah. So I have. I mean, some of the stuff that we mentioned before, like I have them. They all mentioned before. Like I have on the list of like things that I knew that were good.
Mm-hmm.
But it did kind of make me really think about like how many open world games do I actually play or have played and like really liked them? And it's far less than I thought I would. I thought that was kind of one of my genres that I liked a lot in. And I realized that it's kind of not.
I mean, it's not for everybody, right? Like, and the majority of these games I don't care for, like Far Cry and Assassin's Creed, when you're just like checking things off of a fucking list. I don't like that, you know. But
yeah, but I also like try to think of the games that I genuinely enjoyed. Like maybe maybe I will never play them again. But at the time, did I have a lot of fun?
Yeah.
So that's my last one. What you got, Tom?
Nier Automata, of course. I love that game.
Okay.
It's one of my favorite games ever made.
Nier Tomato.
Sure. Yeah, it's fantastic. What can I say that I haven't already said? It's platinum gameplay, Yoko Taro story, Keiji Okabe music. Like, everything's great.
And like every time you play it, you'll probably hit an ending.
Maybe.
Can't you hit some of the endings in like 15 minutes?
Some, if you know what you're doing, but like those are just joke endings. I wouldn't really count those as like an actual ending.
But it's still an ending.
Sure, you roll credits. You are correct.
Also, 9S is my boy.
But like, yeah, it is the most philosophical game ever made. Like ever. Find another one. Find one that comes close. You can't, you know. And like, I like that shit. So yeah, play it.
That actually.
Do you want to do any honorable mention?
Yeah, honorable
Thoughts on Game
mentions.
Player?
The Legend of Zelda 1 for sure. It's a fantastic game. I think it still holds up today. And like, we wouldn't have Breath of the Wild if it wasn't for it, right? Like the
Yeah.
the the pitch for that game was built using assets from the original Zelda. Uh, I like the fact that it's the old game thing, right? Where like you don't know that you can explode this wall. It's not outlined like it is in games today, you know. You
There's no
don't know
yeah,
that,
there's no yellow marker.
right? You
It
don't know
doesn't
you
like
should
shine
burn this
different.
bush. All the bushes next to it look identical. You just know because you know. And like I love that shit. And then yeah, Chinatown Wars I think was fantastic. Probably my favorite GTA game, and manageable, you know. And like, yeah, never thought I'd see the day where I'm selling drugs on a Nintendo console,
Yeah.
but there it was,
Yeah, he sold them.
you know. Yeah,
Best day of your life.
Yeah, Nintendo got edgy, man.
All right, Ryan, what's your last game and then your honorable mentions?
Ghost of Tsushima. So I've been listening to people talk about the game a lot lately, and a lot of the people that I listen to talk about that game have been pretty lukewarm on it. Um, but I honestly really, really, really love that game. Um, it it wears its inspiration on its sleeve. It is obviously inspired by old samurai movies from days of yore. Like even going so far as to putting in a Kurosawa mode for like putting like it puts like a black and white filter over the game, so it looks like you're watching an old Akira Kurosawa movie. But that game is just it's really really cool. And I was telling Tom earlier that it doesn't seem like in the years since Second Son and Ghost of Tsushima that Sucker Punch's approach to open world games has changed very much. But uh, what they do with it instead is they create a world with more character. They create a world that's like honestly more visually beautiful, and a character who is a lot more compelling. And watching Jin go through his transformation from, this honor bound by the code samurai to the Ghost of Tsushima, like over the course of the game, is really cool to watch. Watching him like he's conflicted with using the methods of the ghost, which is like stealth and uh, you know like catching the enemy by surprise because he'd been taught since a boy not to do that. And like uh, it's cool because as you go further down the path of the ghost, it starts raining a lot more in the game to kind of signify his transformation to that. And it's just a really cool touch. And all there are multiple duels in the game there, and they're almost always with someone who is important to the story in some way. And like at one point he has to duel who was like someone who was really important to him like growing up. And like there's another fight where he's like it's just he's dueling someone who like he'd kind of made friends with over the course of his adventure. And like it's just so stylistic. Like you've got like cherry blossom just pouring leaves, and or you have it's autumn, and like there's just like these red leaves everywhere. And like it's something they showed in the preview event is Jin is having to duel like one of his friends, and it's like there's just these leaves everywhere, and like the Mongols are coming, and like as they're fighting, like the Mongols are like shooting arrows down like on like into their like as they're fighting. It's just really really cool. And I know a lot of people thought like the story wasn't great, but I felt like it was awesome. It's literally the most beautiful open world game I've ever played in my life. And I'm saying that with no hyperbole. It's literally I love the story. I love the gameplay. And anyway, I think everybody should play it.
I want to play
Alright.
it. The only negative I heard was the AI. You know, that's the only bad thing
Yeah.
that I've heard.
As far as my honorable mentions, Fallout New Vegas. It
All right.
is just the best Fallout game, in my opinion. One reason, and well, not one reason, but the main reason for me is that it's the one game where it doesn't try to paint the picture of who you are before the game starts. Like it gives you a motivation, like you're out for revenge for this guy that shot you, but it doesn't like give you too much of that character, so you don't have to. That's what I don't like about the Fallout games is they kind of paint too much of a picture of who you are before you start, and I feel like you got more of a blank canvas with that game, and also it feels kind of like a post-apocalyptic western, which is cool. Um, Final Fantasy 15, because we them boys. Uh,
Them boys.
yeah, and Far Cry 5 because that game is over the top as hell, and it's the first Far Cry game that I felt was really like it's the first Far Cry game that I played that I felt like didn't take itself too seriously, not as seriously as Far Cry 3 and 4 did, um, and yeah,
But more seriously than Blood Dragon.
absolutely, absolutely.
Which might also should be on this list.
Yeah, but yeah, and those are mine.
Nice. So as far as my segment, as as usual, I don't have a full title. It's a working title. And I know that we had a similar segment before, but it's basically the opposite of all the small things where we appreciate it. So I've been in my head calling it "fuck the small things."
Oh, wow.
Uh,
Wow.
not literally.
Macro management.
Okay, because that makes it sound a little like a pedophile.
He's right. You know.
As we talked about in other episodes, I love kids.
Sure. Sure.
And Pokemon's one that made me think of it. So not the actual feature of it. Since Yellow, there has been like friendship and affection meters of some sort, even if it's just on one Pokemon. And I know that affection and happiness have been parts of the games in the past. And I don't know when this started, but at some point, because I'm pretty sure I remember this also, like the same shit in Sun and Moon. I don't think I remember any of it in Soul Silver, but like, so if you get their friendship levels up, when they first come out of the Pokeball, they will like hop around with a little like heart above them.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, the amount of hops doesn't really denote like which level you're on. Like, there is where it's like 4 and because I think 5's the highest. 4 and 5 have the same amount of hops, and then also like with your friendship level, sometimes they will like if it's a really critical blow, they won't die. They'll like hang on with 1 HP, and it's like your Pokemon didn't want you to worry, so it survived, and like it puts all these things and like I already took out all the animations and like as much as I could to like speed track these because it does get and like boring just watching them over and over again when you're grinding. But I'm just tired of like that not being skippable.
Yeah.
Like you already make it where it's difficult to find out what level you're on because you can only get your friendship and stuff like measured and like told to you by like one guy in every game. And so if you're already not gonna like tell us and have like a heart meter or like something like that, like I don't want non-skippable reactions to this bullshit.
Yeah.
Like I get that they're like I took them camping, I fed them some berries, I've been battling with them. I know it's building. Like and even then it's randomized on each level about like how often these things are gonna happen. So even if you have like 4 and 5 do the same animations, like it doesn't help me at all to know these things. And so like fuck that shit. It's probably my first complaint about this new Pokemon game, but it's not like this Pokemon game specific. But like if you're gonna be able to have us like take out all these other things, include that.
Yeah.
Because most people do not give a fuck.
But like, I understand where you're coming from, and I sympathize with you. But I feel like you just wanted to complain about this and made a game out of it.
No, because I was thinking, because I've been trying to think of like other, because I was like, well, this game, it's not a game, but it's just like a little segment thing.
Yeah,
Uh,
right.
so I was trying to think of new segments since we haven't really done any in a
Sure,
while.
sure.
I was trying to think of like, well, what's going on with my gaming now? What can I
Yeah.
use based off of? And there are other small things in games that I just don't appreciate.
It is funny though. I do get it. I've got one recently that's been bothering me. So I've been
So yeah,
playing.
fuck that small thing.
I'm playing through Ninja Gaiden Black,
Oh,
and huh?
is that just Ninja Gaiden Sigma Black, or is it like a whole different
No,
thing?
it's Ninja Gaiden Black.
Okay.
You know, like Ninja Gaiden for original Xbox.
Hmm.
Yeah, Black was just like a revision of that.
Okay.
Anyways, I've been playing through that, and like, fantastic game, right? And as far as character action games go, like, probably one of the harder ones. But like,
Of course.
so you've got like a light attack, right? And you've got this heavy attack, but the heavy attack animation is extremely long, right? So like, what you're supposed to do if you want to get good at that game is you're supposed to do the little jump thing, and as soon as you hit the floor, you hit the button, and that like deletes that animation, right? So that you just do the attack super fast and cut the guy's head off or whatever, right? Fantastic.
No.
You feel like a badass. It takes skill. It's very rewarding. But why have the option to have that heavy attack when the animation is so long that you really, like, even the first grunt enemy, you're not going to hit with that attack? You know what I mean?
It really like changes the rhythm
But like,
of the game.
why have it? Like, why have it if you cannot really ever use it? You know,
Yeah.
just have the landing one. Just have that and
Yeah.
use that button for something else. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's not a huge
think
thing. I just pretend it doesn't
I
exist.
I feel like it's a medium thing because it affects gameplay.
No. I mean, it doesn't affect gameplay. I guess it affects gameplay if you're new to the game, because you might try to do that. But I think you'll learn very quickly not to do that. You know what I mean? And you'll just never press that game from a neutral state on the ground, or you'll never press that button from a neutral state on the ground. You'll always press it when landing. You know, it's just kind of funny that it exists at all.
Yeah. It's also weird that it's like even with the remaster or redone of it, like they didn't just like let you skip that.
Yeah, because they made other like very subtle, but they made other mechanical changes to the game. So,
Yeah, it just feels like it'd be something that like even like a fast forward option.
yeah, but still, fantastic game.
Do you have any complaints or gripes,
Yeah.
Ryan?
So, you ever play a game called Beyond Good and Evil?
Yeah, I love that game.
Not really.
Okay. So, some people might know me as someone who likes to play with the camera controls inverted, right? I like to press down to mean up. Okay? If
Sounds
you're-
like a you
Yeah,
thing,
get
really.
down to get up. Yeah.
Okay, listen to me.
Sounds
Listen
like
to
a
me.
Ryan problem.
Listen to me.
Some sort of freak problem.
And Beyond Good and Evil, when you invert the camera controls, down will mean up, but left will also mean right. So you have to make a choice, and I hate it.
What about in the HD version?
Huh?
What about in the HD version?
Haven't played it. Wait,
Okay.
They already burned it
Wait,
once.
wait,
It's
wait,
not
wait,
gonna give
wait,
them more
wait,
money to do it
Is
again.
that one? Is that also the Steam version?
No.
Okay, I haven't played the HD version. I don't think.
Yeah, Steam is that old crappy PC version.
Yeah,
the HD version
it's
is
bad.
only PS3 and Xbox 360.
Okay. I hate that. It bothers me. So.
You kind of got close to the camera for a second with your mouth, like you were the Joker.
Word.
Yeah,
but yeah,
I can't say that it bothers me because, well, no, it does bother me, right? Because there have been other games. I cannot think of like which one right now, but I know recently there's been a game because I've been going back and playing like Dreamcast games and 360 games and original Xbox games.
Yeah.
And I've come across a game where it's like only inverted.
Yeah. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Let's play that.
Well, I mean, no, because then it's X and Y inverted. So
What?
that's not what you want.
No, that's not what
Isn't
I
that
want.
what it?
I mean, I just want normal because I'm normal.
Look, I'm
You know?
a
Because
normal
we're
guy.
regular human beings.
I like normal
Yeah.
things. I like
Normal people
I
on
like
Hulu.
I like sport. I
It's on there.
like chips,
That's really good.
pizza. Just give me what I want.
Sure.
Okay?
Sure.
I pay my taxes.
I think that's a good one, Rand. That's a good one. And I don't know that I would consider that to be a small thing. Like that's a big hurdle to get over.
Well,
I
I
mean-
feel like it's a good medium-sized thing as much as yours is.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
to-
mine is like just don't press that button.
To be
You
honest,
know, like what? It's not hard.
But yeah,
Just
but
don't
like
push
if
it.
you
I'm the
want to
only-
use a heavy attack,
I'm the only one I know who uses the inverted controls. So I don't know how many people are out there who use them. But
There are dozens of you.
yeah, there
yeah,
are
at least I was gonna
literally
say at least 10.
dozens. Yeah, I hate it. So
Yeah.
If any listeners want to hit us up on like Discord or Instagram or on our YouTube page and let us know what your favorite open world action adventure games have been, or if you disagree with any of our opinions, except for Tom's, then let us know. And bye, guys.
Bye.
bye.